Are you ready for this, Sappron? Alright, if you say so. Now then, don't hold back. I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it! Ha yeah! I think I need a medic. Well, would you look at that? It's that time again. A new console has risen in this generation, being the Nintendo Switch 2. Apologies for the delay with this video, but we got the most recent direct last April, and overall, it was pretty solid. Kirby Air Ride sequel in the year 2025? That's a wheelie out of 10. How long has it been since well geez, that's a lot of time. While the direct itself was an experience, the news we got afterwards was the complete opposite. Discord Nintendo Edition, game key cards, and most importantly, ka-ching money. Look, I may live in the United States, but $125 for Joy-Cons in maple syrup land? I'm sorry, my fellow Canadians. And would you look at that? Xbox announced increased prices on first-party games and past consoles. PlayStation only has their consoles with increased pricing in multiple regions, but I would imagine their games might get affected too. Keep in mind that this would be weeks after the Nintendo news. This definitely won't have a negative effect over time, especially with how weird and jank the general economy is right now. People online and even a couple I know in person have been discussing these topics for the past couple of weeks, and it's been mixed from the grand scheme of things. Some people are excited to finally get a new console with better hardware with a brand spanking new home console Mario Kart after 11 years, while others are heavily against the odd software and business decisions Nintendo is currently pushing. Historically, they've always been on the more affordable side compared to their competition, and ever since that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, they have set a new foundation of a base price for modern games. Because of Nintendo making the first move, now other large game companies are going to follow up, which, as I mentioned, it's slowly happening already. For me, I'm somewhat on the fence, because while it is cool that we finally get to see dripped out Waluigi, those numbers make me want to pull out my copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2 and hope that all those coins can transfer to my bank account. Wait a minute. 2. Nintendo Switch 2. It all makes sense now. It really sucks because, as I said, the Direct was overall solid, but Nintendo was not being transparent with their customers towards the end of the event. Obviously, pricing is one of the first gateways you have to get over in making a purchase, and Nintendo did a good job to not show them. Even in their recent owned promotional trailers, they don't bother disclosing these prices where the majority of customers are going to see them. It is odd because they're always upfront with them during past presentations and commercials before a new console release.
In North America, it will be $299.99.
The basic set will carry a manufacturer-suggested retail price of $299.99. And for the deluxe set, it's $349.99.
Even with the lack of info from the Direct itself, there was one thing we got some info on. That being Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's an interactive manual guide on how to use the said console that you are using. But as someone stated during my livestream chat, paid? Yeah. This software will be usable for a grand total of $10. And it doesn't even help the fact that during the Nintendo Treehouse event, what they shown off doesn't even look remotely fun. Oh, what's that? You want to shake some maracas while staring at an empty black void? That totally sounds exciting. Yay. Also doesn't help the fact that the showcase video has a horrible like to dislike ratio. And even this has the top comment. To the person who decided that this virtual manual shouldn't be a free pack-in title, I hope they step on a Lego. And I couldn't agree with them even more. Well, maybe except the Lego part. Cause stepping on one sounds devious. You may be asking yourself, who really cares about a type of game like this? It's only a digital tour guide that some people are going to play for a couple days and never think of it again. Sure, you might be right. I would go as far to say that even if this game was a free pack-in title with the Nintendo Switch 2, it wouldn't leave a fun and impressive impact as time goes on. It's a checklist on how to create the foundation of a game's multiple ideas without building upon them. And it's a letdown because I'm a firm believer that these entry-level games, which can also be called pack-in games, should be a good and memorable first impression. It's how you can learn about your own console while adding some of that Nintendo sauce to it. I would argue that this has been a thing ever since the original Nintendo Switch. Remember 1-2 Switch? The game where you can milk a cow? Cool, I guess. But Nintendo in the past has had a different standard when creating these type of games. I'll get more into specifics of what that standard was, but some of them would include a unique, vibrant, and fun world that each player would experience. And the first game I'm referring to is... I will never get tired of hearing that theme. Wii Sports alongside the Wii console released on November 19th, 2006. And right over here we have the sports. Not that sports. I'll get more to later. Where you fling your Wii remote to nunchuck like a madman by playing, well, sports. Tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. The best one, by the way. If you know anything about these sports, then they pretty much play as they do in the real world. You hit a thing with a thing, or you throw a thing to hit things. But where most of the fun comes from is how good your movement and precision plays while trying to be the best. I'm getting a bit too far ahead. Allow me to explain the standard that I talked about earlier for an entry-level game. Just to clarify, I will make the standard into multiple segments in order to make it easier to understand. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 1. Releasing on the same day as the console. Number 2. Primary focus on interactive games while teaching the player the main console's features. And finally, number 3, which I believe is the groundbreaking point. Mii's. Me? Me. It is a given that with an entry-level game, it must come out day 1. I mean, how else are you going to learn how to defeat Matt? Wii Sports alone was part of the inspiration for me to write this script because past Nintendo's US CEO, Reggie Fils-Aimé, has publicly referenced a 3-year-old interview. During said interview, he talked about the overall influence of Wii Sports and how the idea of it being a pack-in game was heavily pushed back.
It's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back. During the development of the Wii and the Wii Sports software, again, the goal was, we wanted this system to be attractive not only to the most active players but to new players and to bring them into the video gaming experience.
But you see, because of Reggie's influence of having it included with the Wii, it is the #1 most sold Wii game. While most of those sales came from the console itself being an overall hit with over 100 million sales, Wii Sports in general is a game that you can just boot up anytime and look at the greatness there is to offer, which I'll go over now. On this sleek news anchor style user interface, you of course have the sports, with some extra modes and goodies included. Whether you are good or bad at sports, it doesn't matter because you are graded through a skill line graph based on how you play, meaning that your opponent will try to have an even playing field. With the power of motion controls, there's basically no limit at all to how you play. I mean, there is a reason it's always shown off in every Wii game. Motion controls were the new gimmick around this period, and you know how gimmicks are sometimes. Either really good or really jank. But where Wii Sports hits the nail with motion controls is how the game presents the tutorials. They show you as a player on how to properly position your controllers with clear pictures and descriptions. You'll get a light bulb moment when you hear that sound effect with the chill music. Or hearing that charming home run tune when you swing your bat with full force. Where I'm getting at is that doing these actions will want the player to get adjusted to the console's main gimmicks. And once you do get adjusted, there will be more of it hidden within the training mode. It's basically more sports. but try to master each mode by earning points for medals ranging from bronze to platinum. The Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour does have medals, but they aren't to the same degree to how you earn them. You just simply do this task and boom, medal. In Wii Sports, you learn and improve with the console's main gimmicks of each mode so that you can master them and earn a platinum medal. It's just satisfying to finish up a round of hitting home runs and hearing,
You earned a gold medal.
"That's enough sports for now. Let's head here." Whoops, wrong place. Nintendo Land released alongside the Wii U console on November 18th, 2012. Fun fact, just a single day difference from the Wii Sports release. So that's cool to take into consideration. While this absolute masterpiece of software was not free like Wii Sports, it still sold a fair amount. This is more of a personal experience, but my local GameStop would usually restock the deluxe Wii U's more often compared to the standard Wii U's. I swear I've never seen a white Wii U in person besides the E3 showcase that happened at my local Best Buy in 2013, which would make sense. First off, it's black, which obviously is a cooler color compared to white. Second off, the launch title games were kind of meh besides a few good ones. And third off, you got Nintendo Land packed in with the console. Just look at this box art and disc. I can feel the goodness radiating from them within the palm of my hands. But I think it would be fair for me to say that a good number of people had Nintendo Land in their households. Not to the same exact ratio as Wii Sports, but still a decent amount that users most likely learn about the gamepad and other gimmicks because of it being a pack-in. Plus it got a Nintendo Selects edition like Wii Sports. Nintendo Selects was a way for Nintendo to promote their best-selling games that you could always get at a discounted price. We could really use Nintendo Selects in 2025. Anyways, I would say it falls in the same category as the pack-in and or entry-level games. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Time to use my Universal Pass. Nintendo Land is seriously one of the least talked about modern Nintendo games. And for obvious reasons. But hear me out. You are learning how to use the Wii U's gamepad, but in a toy-themed amusement park. Just look at this place. It's so colorful, shiny, and exciting. It just makes me want to jump to my monitor and experience all these different attractions. Mario Chase, Luigi's Ghost Mansion, Metroid Blast, Pikmin Adventure, and a lot more. Even one game that's the definition of cool and relaxing, Balloon Trip Breeze. They all have addicting gameplay that would just want you to keep on coming back to them every time. But I believe another amazing factor about Nintendo Land would have to be the overall atmosphere of the hub world. Seeing all of your collectibles and the different Miis with their post, if this was still a thing, makes everything feel livelier. You even get to go on a tour train to not only get an amazing view of everything, but also to extra modes. Look, even if the variety of games and extra content may look nice, what about the Miis? Well, I believe they are what make these two games special. Because while you are creating an avatar based on a person such as yourself or any other living being, their simple designs help with making the worlds they're in feel alive and unique. Such as walking around the Nintendo Land hub world and seeing what the players have created with their own posts and art. Or even something personal like creating a family of Miis and have them run across the field when getting a home run. I believe these guys are still big recognition with this current Nintendo generation. The Metopia Switch port sold a fair amount, and the long-awaited Tomodachi Life sequel got announced to be releasing next year. It's just odd that Nintendo isn't using them for creating these types of entry-level games anymore. Which is ironic, coming from the Nintendo Switch. Because while 1-2 Switch didn't have the past standard criteria with the gameplay experience when compared to these two, they did release a sequel for this one, Nintendo Switch Sports. This game is interesting. Of course it has the sports, including new ones, such as Chambara, soccer, volleyball, and badminton. But you may wonder, where are these sports? Boxing? It became baseball? I have no idea. Unless there's a secret team developing a third installment for Mario Baseball. Golf? I'll get more into that soon. Wait a minute. Where's me? Well, not to worry. You have the sportsmates as the promoted creative avatars. And to be honest, They don't look the worst, but they don't have the same style that made the Miis feel unique. Want to take advantage of the Mii creator so that you can give your Mii any head shape, eyes, mouth, and more stuff? You have the freedom to do so. Plus, your Mii is usually a character you can use throughout the large library of Nintendo games, including Switch Sports, so at least there are options to choose from. But the sports mates aren't really the biggest crime here. That would have to go to...
We'll launch this fall.
Oh no. Are you telling me that they couldn't get the sport that was in the original game as base content in the sequel? I guess so, because I don't want to wonder what it's like to have golf of all sports not being there day one. But besides that, the missing single player content, and battle passes, Spoko Square looks vibrant and chill with the different sports areas, especially the Chambara one. You are inside this chill 2-story lounge where everyone is watching you and your opponent fight each other to the death. It is satisfying to watch them fall into the pool of water. Getting back to the main point, I believe Switch Sports should have been a release title for the Nintendo Switch 2. Or probably not because of this. But hear me out. Having it released during the middle of the Switch 1 generation instead of saving it for a new console generation was a missed opportunity, because it clearly needed more time to cook. The golf update got delayed, and basketball just appeared out of nowhere during the June Nintendo Direct after over a year of no new sports being added. I would even throw in the idea of them including a new table sport like air hockey, but with a twist. Think of it like how Square Enix made ice hockey chaotic and fun in Mario Sports Mix. Plus, since mouse controls is the main new gimmick with the Joy-Cons, this could have been neat. Wii Sports Resorts had table tennis, which no surprise include a table which you need in order to control a mouse. So that's also another good reason on why it would make perfect sense. Don't get me wrong, Switch Sports isn't the worst game I ever played. There are some good aspects with the gameplay, sound design, graphics, and even the cosmetics. But there possibly could have been more provided content at launch and give a reason for players to invest more time into it. These experiences are what an entry-level game should have for players getting introduced to a new generation. You get your new console, unbox it with the physical game that's provided with the cool box art, and just have a good time. It is sad to see that there's no more style or addicting gameplay to these type of Nintendo games anymore. Just a husk you may look and play for a few days, and never get fondful memories of it. Without games like Wii Sports and Nintendo Land, we wouldn't have these type of games to look up to. But who knows, maybe there's still a chance to get that similar experience again in the future. Sup? Thanks for watching me ramble about Mii prepackaged games. I'm happy to be getting back into video editing so that I can hopefully make others happy. Still have a lot of room for improvement for sure. If I somehow made your day better, then feel free to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment related to this video, like Wii Sports, Nintendo Land, or really anything. It's always nice for me to engage with all of you down there. That's enough from me. I hope all of you take care of yourselves, and as always, have a good one.